All right. Good evening, everyone. How are we all doing today? Today, it's another day for us to have conversations on addressing varying issues, facing the maternal and newborn health sector in Nigeria. This is the August edition of the Protect Mom and Child Forum. It's an online platform whereby we bring public health professionals, healthcare providers, expertise in the healthcare field to come and address varying issues affecting mothers and newborns and children under 5 in developing countries and all over the world. It's an opportunity again to be able to have an amazing speaker again today with us. She is Nurse Opeyemi Lawal. She is a seasoned nurse, a midwife. She is a founder of the Nocta Care in Nigeria. She will be our guest speaker today on the Protect Mom and Child Forum, and we will be addressing the issue on post-natal lactation insufficiency. There has been many issues facing a lot of mothers that we've come in contact with, having low breast milk production to be able to breastfeed their infants. We have seen that there is a lot of mothers that would love to breastfeed their infants, love to feed their children with breast milk, but they are faced with this issue of postnatal lactation insufficiency. And that is why today, on the August edition of Protect Mom and Child Forum, I have Nurse Opeyemi Lawal. Nurse Opeyemi, welcome again to the Protect Mom and Child Forum.
Thank you so much, Yetunde. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here, and I'm happy that we are back here again talking about this. We've had series, the first one, the second one, and we are back again trying to make sure that every woman has the right information. They need to have a seamless pregnancy and also a seamless motherhood. It's very important. So I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Nurse Opeyemi. Thank you so much for, making out time out of your very busy schedule at the facility to come join us today and address this very important challenge facing more than 60% of nursing mothers in developing countries and even all over the world. So let's dive into the details of the program today. What would you say when a mother is said to be experiencing lactation insufficiency? What does that actually mean?
Okay. Lactational insufficiency, like the word, let's break down the word. Lactation, anybody that hears that, they know it has to do with breast milk. Insufficiency means not enough, right? So lactation insufficiency is just a means of saying the breast milk the mother is producing is not enough to meet the nutritional need of the infant, right? That means that whatever this woman is bringing out daily, she expresses out her milk today, she expresses tomorrow, she brings out her breast milk, or she's feeding a baby. A baby is not getting the right, or let me say, the adequate amount of volume that the baby is supposed to get to meet the nutritional requirements for that baby. We all know that as babies grow, their stomach expand and they need to take more. Now, a baby at birth, and you give a baby, let's say, 20 mils of breast milk. From day 1, day 2, the food the baby will take at day 2 under normal circumstances should be more than day 1. Day 3, day 5, day 7 should be more than day 1, because as the baby grow, they are also growing in their stomach capacity and they are building their body and every other part of their body. Now, when this breast milk is not meeting the daily nutritional requirement for that baby, we say the particular mother is having lactation insufficiency.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nurse Ope. Because, okay, for example, if a newborn child would depend solely on the mother's breast milk, and You would
Yeah.
see mothers come to facilities to say that, oh, my baby is always cranky, my baby is always crying. It's like the breast milk is not enough. It's like the breast milk is not coming out to satisfy the baby's hunger and all of those. And then you start wondering what could, be the issue. Why is this happening to such kind of nursing mothers? That will lead me to the next question that I'm going to be asking you, Nosokwe. What are the causes of lactation insufficiency?
Okay. When it comes to lactation insufficiency, there are so many causes that could make a woman not have enough breast milk production for her child. Number one, breast milk and breastfeeding is a natural process, which means nature has had it in stock that once you are pregnant and you're getting towards the end of delivery, your breast should start preparing for that baby. That's when you see women, you say, oh, I'm getting fat, my breast is getting fuller, my breast is getting, I'm feeling tingling sensation. That is because nature has this that this breast milk has to prepare ahead for the baby that is coming. Now, this nature is not happening the way it should happen. That means there's a reason and there's a cause why that is not happening the way it should. Now, one of the reasons or one of the cause that I've seen, all I'm going to be talking about the cause, they are going to be practical examples, right? Because this is what happens day in, day out. This is what I have seen women do. This is what I have seen in women every day that I come in contact with women. And as we go on, I'll provide strategies that we have used and that has worked. I mean, practical examples, practical things that we've done that has really helped women that have lactation insufficiency. So one of the causes of lactation insufficiency is stress. 80% of women that delivers their baby and have lactational insufficiency is due to stress. We all know that labor is not a walk in the park. Pregnancy is not a walk in the park, right? It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot to be pregnant. It's a whole lot to have a new baby. Now, most especially those that go through, be it vaginal delivery, be it a cesarean section, those things come with pain, come with stretching of the body, come with emotional disturbance and etc. So those things really poses a lot of stress on the woman. And when you see the woman after delivery, she will tell you, my breast milk is not coming out. The first question I ask is, Madam, I know you are stressed. Have you tried to rest? And you tell you, oh, I can't rest because they just discharged me from the hospital. I'm still having pains. Those that have cesarean section, I'm still having pains because the stitches are painful. Those that did vaginal delivery and they had laceration or they gave them a cut, they say, I'm still having pains. All those things coming together, it is giving the woman stress. The breast milk will not flow as it's supposed to. So stress is the number one cause that allows majority of women to have lactation insufficiency. Now, another point that is very key that I want to mention for women that have lactation insufficiency is women with polycystic ovarian syndrome, women that have PCOS. PCOS is a common, but most women do not want to talk about it because of the body shame and also the things that come with PCOS. PCOS come with a lot of stress, adding weight, hormonal imbalance, and all those things. So PCOS is one of the cause of lactation insufficiency. Now, how does it relate? Someone might ask, how does PCOS relate with lactation insufficiency? Now, when a woman is having PCOS, she has one of the features they have is hormonal imbalances. In fact, when a woman keeps having hormonal imbalances over and over and over, maybe she's not seeing her period for 5 months, she's not seeing her period for 1 year, she's not seeing her period for 3 months. The next thing is, Madam, please, can you go to the hospital, do certain tests? That's when they will now discover that some of them have PCOS. So PCOS relating to lactation insufficiency is that when a woman have PCOS, they usually have unbalanced hormones. And when there is unbalanced hormone, in breastfeeding, we have what's it called? Prolactin. Prolactin is an hormone that is responsible for producing breast milk once a woman delivers, right? Once a woman delivers, it is expected that she has high level of prolactin so that she can produce enough breast milk for her baby. Now, this woman has PCOS. Her hormone is not balanced. Estrogen is not balanced. Progesterone is not balanced. Prolactin is not balanced. Everything is just there. Now, it could make her have low prolactin level, and this woman won't be able to produce enough breast milk from her baby when she delivers. And with that, you can say that kind of woman, she's at more risk of having lactational insufficiency, right? As a matter of fact, those that have PCOS, they usually have issues with fertility, but there are some ones that they later come out of it, and they have history of PCOS before. So those kind of women, you as an healthcare giver, be it the doctor, the nurse, you have to prepare yourself to make sure you get an alternative, or to make sure you do other things that you can to help that woman not to suffer from lactational insufficiency when she delivers the baby. So those are 2 points that I mentioned. Another key point that we have here is lack of proper diet. Most women, when they deliver, they start taking things that they're not supposed to. Once you deliver, there are certain food you ought to. You need to take a lot of water. You need to take a lot of food that is rich in protein. You need to take a lot of food that is generally rich in water. Because the more you take in water, the more you take in rich diet, the more you take in a lot of food that is rich in water and other nutrients, you can easily have high quantity of milk supplied for your baby. But if you're not taking, it is not wrong for our mothers in those days when they say, oh, once a woman delivers, she needs to start taking hot pap, hot tea, hot beef, hot pepper soup, and those things. That is because those things really helps to stimulate the body to produce more breast milk. Now, women that are not taking this proper diet into consideration, they may have lower supply of breast milk, that they may have lactation insufficiency when they deliver their baby. Another one I would like to point out before I round up the causes of lactational insufficiency is the breast issues. Women that are having breast issues, like, I don't want to call it a breast disease because it is not a disease. They are just issues like the flat nipple, like the inverted nipple, like the restricted nipple, all those things, they really play a key role when it comes to producing enough breast milk for your baby. Now, for a woman that has flat nipple, it means her nipple is inside, right? For a woman that has flat nipple, it means her nipple is not prominent as it should, right? Now, if the nipple is not prominent as it should, the child will not be able to suckle on that nipple for breast milk to come out. Another woman who has inverted nipple, that means the nipple is in. You see, for women that have inverted nipple, that one is usually, in fact, that one is usually a major cause of placenta, insufficiency, of breast milk insufficiency, right? The women that have inverted nipple, their nipple is in, the baby won't be able to latch on the nipple properly so that it can stimulate breast milk. So those kind of women, it is important and it is paramount that as healthcare giver, you ask these questions. Immediately a woman presents to your facility or comes to meet you for consultation and tells you that, oh, my baby is not getting enough, my baby is not adding weight, I think my baby is not getting a lot of breast milk, my baby cries a lot. It is important that you ask all these questions. Can I see your nipple? Hope you are not having flat nipple. Hope you are not having inverted nipple. What kind of diet do you take? What kind of food do you take? Is there any other thing that I need to know? It's important that we ask this question. Are you being stressed? Are you sleeping well? Are you resting well? Are you thinking? That is because all these things can be a major role in a woman not producing enough breast milk that meets the needs for our baby, which can result in insufficiency, breast milk insufficiency. I hope I have answered your question.
Wow, no, so quite the explanation you just gave is so well detailed that I'm beginning to think, wow, these are so many causes that could result in lactation insufficiency for a new mother, for a nursing mom. So I just want us to just quickly go through. The other time you mentioned something called PCOS. For the sake of those that will be watching this video, I would just wanted to just speak a little bit on what PCOS is and what people should understand about PCOS and how they should, kind of seek help when they have PCOS, which could eventually result in one way or the other to lactation insufficiency.
Okay, PCOS, although this is not our question, but because we are having it, I'll talk slightly on it. Okay, PCOS means polycystic ovarian syndrome. PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. So PCOS is a wide topic, I'm thinking of actually building up a strong webinar that I will campaign for, and I will run awareness for up to 2 months so that women can have sufficient information about PCOS. PCOS is not something you can just talk about. But nonetheless, I will just say 1 or 2 things about PCOS. Now, polycystic ovarian syndrome, it means in a woman ovary, there's a growth on the ovary that is not supposed to be there, right? There's a growth, there's a fluid accumulation in the ovary that is not meant to be there on the norm. Now, this will affect the normal work of the ovary, right? And to affect the hormones in that person's body. Because usually our estrogen and progesterone, they are there to level up each other. When I mean level up each other, for a woman that doesn't have anything going on in her body, there shouldn't be too much of estrogen, there shouldn't be too much of progesterone, there shouldn't be lower estrogen, there shouldn't be lower progesterone. They are there to balance off each other. Now, there's an extra growth that is going on in the ovary. Once this extra growth is there, the body sees it as a foreign body, right? Once it sees it as a foreign body, the hormones in the body begins to stagger, right? The hormones in the body begins to stagger. That is why one common feature of those that are having polycystic ovarian syndrome is irregular menstrual period. When you see a person tells you, I have not seen my period for the past 5 months, and you are wondering, are you pregnant? They say they are not pregnant. Obviously, for a woman that is 5 months pregnant, you see some signs, the stomach, the morning sickness, the sitting and all those things. But they are telling you, they are not saying the period for up to 5 to 6 months. That's one of the common features of those that are having hormonal imbalance. Why some, they will tell you they're having period up to 15 days, 20 days, 25 days. That's also one of the signs of PCOS. But commonly and usually among people is when there's a withdrawal in the menstrual period. That means the hormone is not doing the proper thing. And that is why it relates to lactational insufficiency, because once the hormone in the body is not balanced, it also affects the prolactin, which is the hormone that helps to produce breast milk. And once they affect that prolactin, then definitely there will be lactation insufficiency.
Wow. Nosope, thank you so much for shedding light on that and how that influences lactation insufficiency. Now, moving on to the next question that I want us to have conversation on right now is, what are those things that pregnant women can do during pregnancy? Are there supplements they can take, probably iron folic acid or something that they need to take pre-delivery or prenatal that could help them, to boost their breast milk before delivery?
Okay. Breast milk is a natural process. Let me say it that way. Breastfeeding and breast milk is a natural process. without taking any drugs. Nature has it that once a woman gets pregnant, she's expected to produce breast milk. Now, when it's going the other way around, when this woman is not producing any breast milk, there is no particular medication for you to say stimulate breast milk. Rather, there are things a woman can do that can help to stimulate that breast milk rather than focusing on medication, right? There is no particular medication I say, okay, once you take this medication, your breast milk will start moving and all those things. No, but rather there are tips on how a woman can go about it and also for her to, be able to lactate very well. And one of the tips is stimulation of the breast during pregnancy. Usually those days we think our mothers, they are old schools and they don't know what they say when you put your baby to breast and your baby suckles on the breast, you'll be able to produce more breast milk. In fact, it is clinically accepted. Using research is accepted because we are talking of the brain. Once the baby latch on the breast milk, it gives a sign to the brain that okay, breast milk is needed. Breast milk is needed. The baby sucking reflex stimulates the brain to tell the brain to release more prolactin. And once more prolactin is released, then more breast milk will be produced. Right? So stimulation of the breast during pregnancy is very important. And this should be done within the third trimester. Once you see that, oh, you're approaching the third trimester as a woman, you should start stimulating your breast. Now, the next question will be, how do I stimulate my breast? You tell a partner to stock it for you. Use what's it called? Some olive oil. You can apply some olive oil on your nipple and massage it. If you are the woman that has inverted nipple or a flat nipple, you can get plunger, syringe plunger, remove it, put it on the nipple and start dragging it out. So those things will help to stimulate. The more you stimulate your breast during your third trimester, the more you are telling the brain start releasing breast milk little by little. Do you get it? So the more you will tell the brain to start releasing breast milk little by little. So it is important that women learn to stimulate their breast milk towards the end of delivery. Towards the beginning of delivery, rather. I mean the end of pregnancy. Let's say you're in your 8th month, you're in your 7th month, you're in your 9th month and you've not delivered. You have 2 weeks to go, you have 1 month to go, you have 1.5 months to go, 6 weeks to go. You can start stimulating your breast milk. Tell your partner, babe, suck this breast milk for me for our own good. Or you start massaging by yourself so that more breast milk will be stimulated. That immediately they bring out the baby. Once you stimulate it, the breast milk will start coming out. So that is one tip that women can use to increase their breast milk during pregnancy. Another is cleaning of the breast. Very important. Most women miss that aspect, right? And if you don't clean your breast during pregnancy, there will be debris and dirt at the nipple and at the surface of the breast where the breast milk is supposed to come out. Now, these debris and dirt will clog the area where the breast milk is supposed to come out, thus preventing the breast milk from coming out. So it is important when women come for antenatals, when I take them on physical speaking engagement, I tell them it is important that as you approach your 5th month of pregnancy, you start cleaning your breast every day. You take cotton wool and olive oil. It is not advisable to use spirits. It is not advisable because it will dry up the nipple and the nipple may begin to crack. Right? So you don't want your nipple to crack because you are going to receive your baby soon that will suck on that nipple. You don't want it to be sore and painful. So it is important that you don't use something that will make it crack. So rather, we advise women to use cotton wool and olive oil. Olive oil is an oil, it makes it even fine, shiny. And the good thing is, it removes a lot of debris. Pregnant women in the house, you can try this. Olive oil and cotton wool. You should clean your breast every day, most especially the nipple. It helps to remove a lot of debris. So it is important that these women learn to clean their breast milk during pregnancy so that it will pave way for the breast milk to come out, and it will not block the breast milk from coming out, because once some part is blocked and it's only little part that is allowing passage of breast milk, there is no way that woman is going to produce a lot of milk. At the end of the day, it will result in lactation insufficiency. So that is another tips that a woman can use before delivery. No particular drug. So another tip, and the final tips I'll be talking about, is massaging the breast during pregnancy. Just the way I said, sucking the breast towards the end of pregnancy, that's the same way the woman can also massage the breast with warm water towards the end of pregnancy. As she's approaching the end of pregnancy, it is important that women start doing these things. Once they start doing this, I've talked to a lot of women, and they've given me positive feedback about how those tips helped them to produce more breast milk for their baby. So it is important that towards the end of pregnancy, you can start massaging the breast, pressing it with hot water, so that there will be downflow of this milk. So that immediately after delivery, within few hours after delivery, they can start lactating, have lactation insufficiency. So there is no particular drug per se that you say, okay, this woman should take this woman should take that. No, rather, she should eat well, take a lot of water, and apply all the tips that have been said so that she does not have lactation insufficiency after delivery of a baby.
No, so thank you so much. You know what? All of these tips that you have mentioned now, I am very certain that a lot of mothers have been dying to hear these tips to be able to boost their breast milk production for their newborn and even for their children under 5, for their infants. It's been a lot of issues for a lot of mothers. I can tell you this, because when the breast milk is not coming out, it also leads to them trying to get other breast milk substitutes to start feeding the baby.
Yeah.
Because yes, other breast milk substitutes to start feeding the baby, saying that, oh, the baby is not feeding well, the baby is cranky, the breast milk is not enough. And it's because we are, they are deficient in all of this information. Thank you so much, Nosokwe, for this. Before we move on, I also want us to briefly speak about some kinds of foods. Are there kinds of foods that pregnant women are expected to take before delivery, during pregnancy, that would, that could probably help breast milk production after pregnancy?
Okay. So regarding the food, right? The idea is for the woman to produce more breast milk. So I said some while I was explaining. So it is important that a woman should know that water is very, very important. I mean, fluid is very, very important. It's just like garbage in, garbage out, right? It's just like when we take in water and you urinate, if you take in a lot of water, you realize that you urinate more. If you take in low quality of water in the day, maybe you don't even take up to 1 liter for the whole 12 hours or for the whole 24 hours, you see that your urine becomes concentrated. So that's the same way it is with breast milk. As a woman during pregnancy, it is important that you take a lot of water, because when you take a lot of water in pregnancy, you are preparing your body, you are preparing your breast milk, you are preparing the flow of your breast milk, right? So it is important that women consider taking a lot of water in pregnancy so that they can produce more. In fact, most especially after delivery. Once you deliver, there is no complication, there is nothing. Start taking water-related food. Start taking, available water-related food that is present in the locality. I don't want to keep using African culture and Nigeria saying pap, the tea, and all this. And so, available water-related food. Like I watched one woman, she's from India. She was saying they use seafood a lot to stimulate breast milk, right? That if they eat seafood, just the way we eat pepper soup in Nigeria, if they eat their sea soup that they use seafood to make, they call it sea soup or seafood soup. If they eat a lot of it, they are able to get and produce sufficient breast milk for their baby. So it is important that they take a lot of water, they take a lot of food that are rich in diets, not just taking banku, taking eba, taking amala, right? So those will give them energy, but those things will not allow them to produce more breast milk. So they take a lot of food that is rich in protein, and food that is rich in water, fruits help a lot. Cucumber has a lot of water. Watermelon has a lot of water, and so many other fruits out there. So it is important that these women knows these things and work with it accordingly. So there is no special food per se that okay, this is what a woman must take, and it's 100% guaranteed. So just eat healthy, take a lot and lot of fluid. Breast milk will flow.
Thank you so much, Nosokwe. Thank you so much for providing so much detail on the exact food and kinds of food that pregnant women are supposed to take prenatal and even postnatal. But before we move on from this particular question, I want you to briefly speak about the use of palm wine. In our culture in Nigeria, you would hear you will hear particularly the old mothers tell their in-laws or their daughters to take palm wine to be able to boost breast milk production. What do you have to say about this?
Okay, first of all, let's know that when we look at the process of palm wine making, it's a fermented process. We need to know that. So, when I'm talking to women, I like them to see the reason why they are doing a particular thing, and see the reason why it might likely affect them. So, I am not saying palm wine is not good, but let's look at the process of palm wine. They ferment it and all those things, and that is why it makes it kind of intoxicated for some people when they take it, right? When you see some people take palm wine, they become intoxicated, they start having drowsiness, they start feeling dizzy, they start wanting to sleep all of a sudden, or they sleep for long hours. Now, if this woman is taking this palm wine and she gives the breast milk to her baby, in some women, we have something we call barrier. Things can easily flow to the baby, especially when you are breastfeeding, right? Now, you take this palm wine and it flows to your baby, and your baby starts sleeping for 3 hours, 4 hours, without waking up to eat. You start thinking, where is this coming from, right? So, personally, I have not used palm wine to increase breast milk production, right? But maybe there are other people that have been using it and have been getting involved. But there is no scientific rationale that backs up that palm wine is good for breast milk production. Rather, palm wine can intoxicate the mother, and also it can intoxicate the baby. Because when the baby feeds, and a lot of it goes into the baby's bloodstream. Baby can start sleeping for hours, or the baby becomes most likely sleep for longer hours, right? So that's the basic. But personally, like I said, I have not used palm wine for any breast milk production. Not saying, although I've heard a lot of it, but I have not seen a woman give me any testimonial that, oh, she used palm wine and this is the result she got, right? That's it.
Thank you so much, Nosokwe, for just shedding a little bit of light on that particular one. So we are still on the Protect Mom and Child Forum, and Nosokwe has been providing detailed information on addressing lactational insufficiency affecting more than 50% of nursing mothers in developing countries and even all over so many parts of the world. And she has spoken briefly on so many remedies, what we can do, what pregnant women can do during pregnancy, and even after they've delivered, to be able to boost their breast milk production, to be able to ensure that their newborn and even their infant have enough breast milk to be able to provide all of their daily nutritional needs. So before we conclude this webinar today, I will briefly want Nosope to quickly speak on the role of the spouse, the role of family members, even the role of government, the role of NGOs, civil societies, to assist pregnant women and nursing mothers to be able to ensure that they are able to, know the right steps to take to be able to boost their breast milk production for the, nutritional needs of their newborns and infants.
Okay, thank you for that question, today. So let's start with the role of couple or the role of spouses. Those are the nearest people to the woman that is trying to breastfeed. And definitely, those are the first contact. Those are the people you'll be asking questions. What have you been doing at home? So the role of the spouse at home is to give adequate support to the woman. One of the things I mentioned that while I was explaining the causes of lactation insufficiency is not having adequate diet, right, and stress. Now, let's look at a situation where the partner is helping out in setting out choices, in certain activities, and this woman reduces her stress level in order to produce more breast milk. So it is important that spouses know their role in helping this woman reduce stress to the barest minimum, as low as they can, so that these women can have the strength, can have the energy to produce more breast milk for their baby. So that is on the aspect of the spouse. They should give adequate support in order to reduce stress, in order to reduce tension for that woman, in order to produce breast. So that's the role of the spouse. Now, talking about the role of the government and NGOs. For the role of the government and NGOs, what they can do basically is increase access to information, right? Maybe information on social media platforms like TVs, the radio, NGOs can come together to organize talk shows, right? They can come together to organize talk shows and discuss silent topics like this. Okay, what are our role in making sure that these women knows how they can remove the causes, remove the lack on how they'll be able to produce enough breast milk. So they can organize talk shows, organize webinars, organize sessions, organize teaching engagement in the community, bring in professionals on board in order to discuss with these women on how they can curb and also reduce the cost of lactation insufficiency. Then when it comes to the role of the parents, the role of the family, and I mean family, I mean friends and people around the woman, it is also important that they also assist out in certain things, encouraging her on proper diet, encouraging her on tips, reminding her on tips, because sometimes when a woman delivers, she has this, would I say, puerperal dementia. She gets to forget things easily, right? So it is important that family around her, they start reminding her, oh, you have to take part. You have to take this. It's needed for your baby. Oh, you have to clean your breast. It's needed for your baby. You have to do this so that your baby will be able to get enough breast milk. So the role of support cannot be underrated. The role of the family, the friends, they can support this woman by encouraging her, by exposing her to information, by giving her the right help she might need, maybe in the aspect of cooking, the aspect of doing other stuff she needs in order for her to breast properly, to get sufficient information to curb lactational insufficiency.
No, Sope, Thank you so much for all of this detailed information you have provided. I am very certain that for mothers, pregnant women, healthcare providers that would come in contact with this session, they will be able to give you know detailed and complete information, guidance, and tips to nursing mothers. Particularly even during pregnancy and even after they've delivered their baby, on how to navigate through the period of if they have any challenge of lactation insufficiency. Nosokwe, thank you so much again for coming to this webinar today. I really, really do appreciate you. Thank you for always coming to, give information to mothers on how to navigate the period of pregnancy, even till they deliver their infants, and even how to continue to take care of their children till, they are up to the stage where they are able to navigate life through themselves. Thank you again, Nosokwe, for coming to this program today. I really do appreciate you. Do have a lovely, lovely evening. Thank you.
You're welcome.